Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies, and comrades, this is your political dietitian, Kenya Revolutionary. I hope you're doing well wherever you are. I really do hope you're doing well. Come in. This is another quick session, probably an hour. I'll be here just to talk about what's going on out there. As you can see, if you've been reading news, there's a lot happening. Not only with the government at place, this government that's hanging by the thread, and the opposition also made some announcement today. My microphone is messed up as usual. I'm sorry. I'm trying to fix it. Yeah, so we'll delve into it. ODM party wants a national conversation, not a dialogue. All right, let me. Sorry, guys, as I fix my microphone. Sorry. I know it's annoying when I get started and this thing is like acting up. But anyway, as I was saying, karibuni sana. The first order of business, as you know, like the video, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do that. Subscribe to the channel quickly. And the reason why I keep on telling you guys to like the video, because if you like the video is pushed on the algorithm, and more people can see it, and more people can know about the channel, and more people can get involved in this conversation. The conversation that that ODM party National Executive Committee, I think, made an announcement. Let me go very quickly and show you what's going on. Secondly, I wanted to talk about something that has to do with our constitution. I was in another platform and we were discussing how these Gen Zs, let me not call them Gen Z, the people of Kenya, we can all agree that the majority of Kenyans, majority of the people in this state called Kenya, Republic of Kenya, do not want Ruto. They want Ruto out. Ruto lacks legitimacy. So they want a new government. How can they take out Ruto if the judiciary, which is another arm of government, and the legislative body, another arm of government, is not cooperating? They will not remove Ruto if we try to impeach him, if we try to take him to court, go to court and try to get Koome to advise him to dissolve the parliament. He'll probably not listen. So what other ways can we do? And because I hear some people are talking about, oh no, we have to wait till 2027 if we can't remove him. There's no other way. Yes, there is another way. I will get to it. But let's start with ODM first. What's going on with them? Because they just had a presser and they're telling us about something. Let me go to their page and see what the heck they're talking about, okay? Like the video, subscribe, share, comment, and do all the good stuff. Let's get started. Are you ready, ladies and gentlemen, brothers, sisters, friends, and comrades? Let's do this. Okay, let's listen to Kalonzo Musyoka. He had something to say. I won't waste your time at least. Let's get started. Meanwhile, while I do this, go ahead and subscribe. You know the drill. And like the video. Okay, let's get started. Let me play the video so you can get an idea of what I talked about. This is just fresh off the oven news, so to speak. All right, here. Azimio, take it over. Okay, here is Kalonzo Musyoka. Boom, let's go. Sorry, this is
party
ODM.
Leaders. If we can have some peace outside, our party leader, Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, has had to leave for an urgent meeting, and he has asked us to make this statement. Asanteni kwa kusikiliza. I'll read thank you. Resolutions of Azimio PG meeting dated today, the 18th day, I believe, 18th day of July, 17th day of July, 2024. The joint meeting of the parliamentary group of Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition Party was held today, Wednesday, the 17th of July 2024. The coalition expresses its sympathy and condolences to those who lost their loved ones and the hundreds who were maimed, injured, and who had their properties destroyed during the demonstrations.
Oh, well. So apparently the press conference was cut short due to some fracas, a milieu, which we don't know what caused. Maybe some people didn't agree with what was about to be read. Kalonzo Musyoka was going to read a statement that, the Azimio folks agreed upon. Now, we can go to their Twitter account, ODM party Twitter account, to get an idea of what they were kind of trying to say, because Kalonzo obviously could not finish his statement. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends and comrades, like the video and subscribe. Don't forget that, please, as you join, I can put the link in if you want to come in and just chime in a little bit. I'll be here for like an hour approximately, or maybe a little bit over or less. Let's get to it. Let's read what they said on their Twitter account. What were they trying to communicate to Kenyans? All right. So here is Azimio's Twitter official account. And as you can see, I hope you can see it. I'm sharing it with you on the screen. There it is. This was posted about around 2 hours ago. Okay. So there's a quote there that says, ODM never said that it was going into bed with Ruto. We never said it. It is a creation of the media. What we are calling for. Sorry, guys. Sorry about that. Let me start again. ODM never said that it was going into bed with Ruto. We never said it. It is a creation of the media. What we are calling for is a national convention where all Kenyans will be brought on board to air their views. It is a fact everyone is annoyed with KK, Kenya Kwanza, at Raila Odinga. So they're calling for a national, it's a national therapy session. So if you feel aggrieved by this government, Kenya Kwanza government, please go to that national convention that ODM is calling and go spew your guts out. That's what they're saying, okay? All right. Before that, 2 hours again, this is the initial one with the pictures. ODM, of course, Raila Odinga was addressing people there. Then he left for some reason. Kalonzo Musyoka told us that he had another urgent meeting. I wonder what it is about. But anyway, this is also what they said previously before making those. The tweet that I just read. The ODM PG NEC, which is National Executive Committee or whatever, meeting today resolved that we should have a national convention conversation to address long-standing issues that affect Kenyans. That a conducive environment should be created for the benefit of this initiative. Every Kenyan must be brought to the table. Okay, so they want a national conversation. Okay, they want a national conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers, sisters, friends, and comrades, ODM want a national conversation and everyone is invited. Please let us know the venue. James Wood Karibu. James Wood is saying, I still don't get it. People are done talking. Thank you. They still don't get it. They don't get it. Actually, you know what? They get it, but they don't care. They want to dress it up as a conversation, but it's really a dialogue. Remember, these people are gun-ho on this idea of NADCO. They want this national government of national unity. They want it. That was their plan. And they can't live with the fact that this might not happen. Gen Z threw a spanner in the works. So that's why they keep on telling us about national discussion, national conversation, national dialogue, national this, national. What is this? What's there to discuss? The majority of Kenyans who are represented by this Gen Zs are saying Ruto must go. What's there to discuss about? Why do we have to have a national conversation? What's there to be discussed? Somebody tell me, because I don't get it. The message is pretty clear. Again, they still have some more. It's not done yet. So Oduk there. Okay, this is July 16th. This was probably yesterday, so I won't go there. That was yesterday. That was Edwin Sudfuma. But yeah. So again, I'll read it for the last umpteenth time. The ODM PG NEC meeting today resolved that we should have a national convention/conversation to address long-standing issues that affect Kenyans. That a conducive environment should be created for the benefit of this initiative. Every Kenyan must be brought to the table. And lastly, as I read this, again, in quotes, ODM never said it was going into bed with Ruto. We never said it. It is a creation of the media. What we are calling for is a national convention where all Kenyans will be brought on board to air their views. It is a fact. Everyone is annoyed with KKK. That's basically what they're saying. So again, they're trying to be very careful with their words, trying to tell us that, oh, no. We're not, this time, we don't want anything to do with Ruto. We are not meeting Ruto. We just want to have a national conversation. Again, James Wood has told us, something that, what's there to talk about? Renee, thank you very much. Glad to see you. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. I know probably have subscribed. Nice seeing you, Renee. Brother Benson, very good friend of the show. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends and comrades, Brother Benson is a very good friend. Please check out his channel, Brother Benson Media. It's on YouTube. Subscribe there, like, share, and follow him. Watch his interviews. He has a bunch of interviews with young folks. He's doing a really good job there. As soon as I'm done, if he's still running his channel, I will go there and listen in. Brother Benson tells us that is a wrap, brother. Intelligent way of pushing NADCO report to the people. Absolutely. They're trying to bring it in a different way. They tried the dialogue, but people don't want to hear about dialogue. So they're coming with conversation. It's a national conversation, and they're trying to make it very clear. Okay, this time it's not going to be Ruto, but everyone is invited. Okay. David Omburo, Kenyans are simply saying they don't need Ruto. They want him out. Period. Absolutely. So what are we discussing? Because Kenyans have come to a conclusion that the problem, majority of the problem, we're not saying every problem in Kenya started with Ruto, but Ruto is an extension. He's extending this problem. He's not helping. If anything, he's making it worse. And he's breaking every law possible. The Constitution, he doesn't respect it. And he has, usurped power from the parliament, legislative body, and the judiciary, okay? So nothing is working. So what's there to talk about? Why should, okay, let me, if there was an Azimio representative, Sifuna or somebody, whatever the case is, or Mbadi, I would ask them, can you tell us what are we going to talk about in this national conversation that you want to have? What's there to talk about? What, are we going to talk about corruption? Like we don't know what it needs to be done about corruption? Like we don't know what needs to be done with the president? Like we don't know what needs to be done about our infrastructure? Like we don't know what needs to be done with, how we should govern ourselves? The lack of respect for the rule of law? We can go on and on. Kenyans know what's wrong and they know what is the solution. But they're trying through this Gen Z to hold this government accountable. And this government does not want to listen. So Gen Z, who represent the people of Kenya, majority view of the people of Kenya, who reflect the need of the majority of people, are saying Ruto must go. So why are we still having a conversation? Ani karibu sana, like long time no see. I haven't seen you for a while. Karibu sana. Ani saying ODM can't believe. ODM can't believe. They will not believe. They will not believe. Where's Kalwale? Yes. I'm telling you, I said this in my previous video. I say this. Azimio are losing that. They can't believe, as Annie has rightfully put it, they can't believe that they've lost that power of opposition. They used to control the opposition. if people are against the government of the day, ODM had the monopoly. They could, control the masses with the remote control, which is Raila Odinga. Raila Odinga will say left and everybody goes left, right. Tuendeni maandamano, wanaenda maandamano. Oh, hakuna maandamano kesho. So now that this Gen Z are coming out and they're having a new maandamano and they're making their own demands and they're not giving any space for dialogue or conversation with Ruto, or buying into this idea of Raila meeting up with Ruto to have a dialogue, or having a dialogue as this conversation they're talking about, they cannot take that. It's a new reality check for this Azimio folks, the ODM party folks, whether it's Sifuna or whoever, or Mbadi. They can't believe it. They can't live with it. Okay? It's like, can you imagine owning a car for the last 30 years that you love so much and you know you can drive it anywhere, anytime. Alafu one day you come in and somebody has taken over that car. And they tell you, no. This is not your car. This is our car. Huwezi kuingia hapa kwa hii gari anytime you want and drive it and do whatever you want. This is our car. We are going to dictate when tunafanya oil change, pale tunaenda na vile tunaenda. Okay? Simon Ochieng, we must talk. Simon Ochieng, I'll invite you in here. Tell me why we should talk. I want to have that conversation. I will be very curious. I respect your view. Let me invite up uniambie. Why should we talk? I want to know what kind of discussion should we be holding as a nation. What kind of discussion? Because I think we pretty much know what needs to be done. So I'm just curious. Simon Ochieng, the link is on the chat. Come in and explain to me what needs to be talked. What needs to be discussed. I'll be here for the next 43 minutes or something like so, or is it 40? Yeah, you can tell me. The lines are open. There's the Nino. Kuja unieleze. Why we need to talk. What are we talking about? What's the topic? Why should we have a national discussion? I think there's a lot of discussion going on in different platforms. If you go to these X Spaces, if you go to this platform, there's a bunch of people are talking. People know what they want. And I think they share the same sentiments that Stephen Kimanzi Peter is saying. Ruto out, nothing more. Absolutely. That's the general sentiment. The people have decided. We don't want to have a discussion about anything. We know what needs to be done. It starts with the head of the state, who is Ruto. He needs to go. That's what people are saying. So what's there to be discussed? Simon Ochieng, come in. And anyone who thinks that we need to have a discussion, there's nothing wrong with being ODM member or agreeing with what ODM are saying. You can come in and explain to us why you think we need a dialogue. It's open for all. Hapa tutakukaribisha. George Opio is saying, we know Judas. He just wants to sneak into government through backdoor. Tumbokrat. Kalonzo has been busy. Kalonzo has been busy. Kalonzo has been very busy. Kalonzo is very busy. Very, very busy. I don't know what he's up to, but he's been, trying to be visible like kila pahali, coffee time. But yeah, like I said, there's nothing wrong with having a conversation, but what's there to discuss? Because I think we have exhausted what needs to be done. We know what needs to be done. What's there to be discussed? And who are we discussing this to? Like I say, we're not going to have a national therapy session, because that's what the ODM are saying. We need to have a national conversation where everyone is invited, so everyone can speak their piece. No, Kenya does not need a national therapy session. Okay? We need to see change. And the change is Ruto must resign with this whole cabinet. We want the whole parliament, all the people, our representatives, to resign. All of them. The legislative body, the executive branch also should resign. We should put in new people, vote in new people, so that we can revolutionize the judiciary once we have new people in place and have laws that are in line with the constitution. Kwa sababu this representative, we gave them chance after chance. For the past 2 years, they've done nothing but show us their middle finger and doing things that are selfish. So what's there to talk about? I'm sorry, we cannot do this. Okay. Annie says the talk will obviously be about government of national unity. Yes, they told us that. They even told us that. They even wrote that long, voluminous letter explaining to us that, oh, Raila has to come in and, save the nation again. We want to implement the NADCO. That's what the letter said. I'm not making up stuff. Yes, I agree with you, Annie. It's like Azimio are out to have a presser right now. Washindwe Saitan. Wamalwa spoke. Actually, Wamalwa gave a speech too after that. Let me play Wamalwa's bit. Bernard is here. Bernard, I'll bring you in just a minute. Let me play this clip really quick before I get your view. Let me play this Wamalwa clip. He had something to say after that presser. So let me play Wamalwa really quick before we get Bernard's view. Right there. All right. Joey Wamalwa, Eugene responded.
William Ruto, stop blaming. Stop blaming Ford Foundation. Stop blaming the opposition. There's a time you're even trying to bring the name of Uhuru Kenyatta into this. You are beginning to sound like Milli Vanilli and the song, blame it on the rain, blame it on the sun, blame it on the stars, blame it, but whatever you do, don't blame it on me. That's how you're sounding. You're unbelievable. Stop addressing who is behind the agencies. Start addressing what is behind the agencies. Respond to the issues. And they are saying, basically, yours is the most corrupt government. Yours is the most tribalized government. And you changing your cabinet does not change anything. Because it is not that weak cabinet you dismiss that is the problem. Even if we give you today a cabinet of angels, nothing will change as long as William Ruto is president. Because William Ruto is the problem. It's not the cabinet. The parliament that is there today, that stands impeached by the people of Kenya, by order of the Gen Z, of the 25th of June 2024, Parliament stands impeached. When the people exercised their power under Article 1 and stormed Parliament and took the mess, they symbolically took back their power and authority. Okay. The only thing left of this Parliament now, as they resume and as they convene, is to do one thing and one thing only. Complete the reconstitution of IEBC and facilitate the calling of fresh elections and go home to face the people that you let down by voting yes and passing bad laws that have oppressed them. This is what is left. And if there's any dialogue we should have with William Ruto, it is when he is resigning and when he is going home, because the people have said Ruto must go. The position we have taken as DFP is that we will not be party to the dialogue.
Okay. So, Bernard is here. Bernard, karibu.
Asante sana.
Yes. What do you think about the ODM pronouncements? They want a conversation, not a dialogue.
I think I'm skeptical about what ODM is talking about, because we're in the middle of a revolution, and I don't think there's a time for a press briefing and ODM trying to bring attention to ODM or trying to take some type of position as the representative of the revolution. I'm a little bit skeptical about what ODM is doing.
Okay, because you can see, obviously, it's even dividing up the Azimio folks. I'm not sure if Azimio is still together. I mean, they're still together as a name, but Martha Karua is not even paying attention to everybody else. She's totally out. Like, she's saying different things. She doesn't want to be part of this. Now, you had Eugene Wamalwa too is saying, any conversation doesn't want to get involved. But ODM seems, in particular, they've been really pro-government this past few days. I mean, there you see Robert Alai saying watu waache mambo ya maandamano, sijui nini nini nini. Like what is going on? Have they been promised something? What's going on? I think Bernard is busy there somewhere. He's caught up. I'll come back to him when he's ready. But anyway, I think there's something that what's his name? What's his face really say that I really agree with? Wamalwa. And he said something about the Gen Zs when on the 25th went to the parliament and did what they did, took the mace and all that stuff. It was a symbolic action, basically telling Kenyans, telling the world that they do not have confidence in the parliament. They do not have confidence in the executive. And of course, they don't have any confidence in the judiciary. Now, I was having this discussion with some other people, panelists, and they were telling me that the only way that the president can leave is what is that? I'm sorry, guys. This is funny. Allah's mouthness tells it all. But yeah, they were telling me that the only way President Ruto can leave is if he decides to resign by writing to, I don't know, the parliament, and then Gachagua takes over, and and like my argument was, no, we have seen, we can all agree, majority of Kenyans can agree that Ruto, the executive branch, and the National Assembly are not working for Kenyans. Even the judiciary is not working for Kenyans. So in the event that the people who are the sovereigns, okay, feel that their representatives who they've delegated this power to are not doing their job, what can be what are we supposed to do as the people of Kenya? Can we take them all out? And the argument is, some people are saying, no, you cannot do that because it has to be somewhere inscribed in the constitution, the process in which you take them out. If it's not there, then you can't. Bernard, I don't know if you're still with me. All right. I'll assume he's busy, but I'll continue with my rant. So my thing is this, and I kind of lean with Miguna Miguna in saying this, and it makes absolute sense. If you think I'm joking, let's read the Article 1 together so we can get an idea of what we are talking about. Because sometimes if you don't read it word for word, we might lose focus. Here is Article 1 of the Kenyan Constitution. This is what it says. And I want people to listen keenly because you have to realize what kind of power you do possess as a people, not as an individual, but as a people, okay? All right. Article 1 says, I hope it's you can see there. If you guys can see, okay. All right, just read it with me. It's kind of so bright. Okay, it's not too bright. All right, right there. All sovereign power belongs to the people of Kenya and shall be exercised only in accordance with this constitution. 2, the people may exercise their sovereign power either directly or through their democratically elected representatives. 3, sovereign power under this constitution is delegated to the following state organs, which shall perform their functions in accordance with this constitution. A, parliament and the legislative assemblies in the county governments. B, the national executive and the executive structures in the county governments. And C, the judiciary and independent tribunals. 4, the sovereign power of the people is exercised at A, the national level, and B, the county level. But the most important part that I want us to emphasize on is where it says, and this is where people can exercise their power directly. It says in Article 1(2), it says, the people may exercise their sovereign power either directly or through their democratically elected representatives. Now, here in Kenya, we have a case where the democratically elected representative who we delegated this power to have let us down. They have, by all means, showed us that they're not willing to listen to us. And I'm talking about the national executive, which Ruto represents, and his deputy and all his cabinet members, and the National Assembly, who has kind of become a rubber stamp for Ruto. And of course, the judiciary too. So in a case where these elected representatives that were delegated this duty, okay, in a case like that, what other remedy can we have to remove these representatives? Because obviously, all the arms of government that were delegated this duty have failed us. Now the question comes, how do we exercise our sovereign authority directly? That is the million-dollar question that people are kind of wondering. How do we do it? If Ruto resigns and the parliament is dissolved, how do we express this directly? Bernard, do you have the answer to this, or?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I was listening to I think you may have seen it too. Miguna Miguna released a video, I think today or yesterday, and he actually he's addressing that particular question, and he's a lawyer.
Right.
So according to him, if Miguna Miguna wants both Ruto and Gachagua to go, and Parliament, so that according to him triggers the Chief Justice to become actually the leader of Kenya in a transitional capacity as we organize elections and determine who's the next leader. And now you're telling us that you yourself know that the judiciary, the three arms of government, have let Kenyans down. They're no longer doing our will. Right. The executive, legislature, and judiciary. We know that Martha Koome, she may be corrupt or not. I'm not sure, but Kenyans don't trust her. It's my opinion. So in that case, in a Miguna version of events, she takes over.
Right.
Which, as you can see, is complicated. That's why, for me, I think 100% of Kenyans agree with you that we've been let down, and we have to take back our power, and we have in some ways, and we're slowly getting our power back. And every Kenyan, I think, now wants Ruto out. I think it's unanimous by now. Right. But like you're saying, there's this question we have to deal with. What next? So Miguna says we go the Chief Justice way. And I say, my own personal view is the best thing that can happen, which is the least chaotic way, is for us to mount pressure for Ruto to resign. And Gachagua takes over. And Gachagua takes over and we tell him, look, your role is to facilitate the next step. In which case, we have an IEBC that functions, and fresh elections are called, and we get fresh leaders and a fresh mandate. But I keep saying, the reason why the United States is a successful democracy and an extremely wealthy one at that is because of the institutions that are in place. Even us as Kenyans dealing with this mess, at some point, even when Gachagua or Chief Justice, whatever happens, and they're all kicked out, we have to go to the polls and vote. And the unfortunate thing is that we have all these briefcase parties in Kenya and these tribal cocoons that are political parties. So we all have to go back into that mess of tribalism and all kinds of parties and to try and sort our next step forward, which is why I've been pushing. The best thing that Gen Zs can do is to come up with a shadow government through an app like Telegram, and they get people who are in Nairobi, who have served in government before, who have a good reputation, who are ethical, people, Kenyans of good standing. Like, and one of such person is Kipruto Arap Kirwa, who was Kibaki's minister for agriculture. He was there when he did some wonderful things, and there are some others to note. I'm not sure how good Mutahi Kagwe is, but then there's people like Matiangi who ended cheating in our schools and presented over the most credible exams in Kenya. If these Gen Zs or these Kenyans can come up with these people as a shadow government, that can somehow answer the chaos that's going to follow if Ruto exits the scenes. And that chaos can actually make Kenya worse than many of us want it to be. Okay. Although I think in the end, even if things get worse, I think we're better off with Ruto gone under any circumstance at all.
Okay. I was going to rebut that, but let me hear from Saf. Saf Karibu, what do you think?
I think even if things get worse, I think we're better off with Ruto gone under any circumstance at all.
Saf, are you there? But let me hear from Saf. Saf Karibu.
Asante sana.
You have something playing on the background.
Can you hear me? Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, but it's
we can hear you.
You have another device in the background, but go ahead. Go ahead, Saf. Okay. Oh, I just unmuted you, then you muted. All right. Yes, we can hear you now. Go ahead.
1 minute.
Okay.
Yeah, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear the background now?
No, now it's good. Go ahead.
Now you're good.
Hello.
Yeah, you're okay now. Go ahead.
You're good. Loud and clear.
Okay. Now, in my opinion, I agree with you, Ben, to a point. The point of we should start getting organized and strategizing as a group on that shadow cabinet. Maybe look for one of these advisors that have been coming up, the Mutahis and the Matiangis and all that of this world. Have one of them be a mentor or something like that to mentor ourselves to form that shadow cabinet. But in the meantime, because of all what you talked about, Kenya revolution, is that Ruto has held every part of this country. All you said, the judiciary, the parliament, all of them. So we cannot rely on even Martha Karukome. I cannot rely on Rigathi for anything. Cannot rely on Raila. Cannot rely on Kalonzo. All of them are tainted. So let's avoid the point where one of those people are taking over. And of course, the worst is the military, which also we need to avoid by any cost necessary. So at this point, as much as we're talking about Ruto must go, the go may not be physical. If we strategize, we may not have it physical. But if there's a way we can control some of the things he's doing, then we keep him in that seat until 2027. Or until we have this shadow government or this other alternative in place, legally as well as physically. Because now the legal issues is what now the legal minds can tell us how to maneuver. But if we get rid of him now physically, with all these gaps that we have and all these other people who are just waiting, I think we might even be in a worse position. So right now, tuendelee tu kufinya, so that he continue doing what we say, doing the things that we want him to do. but keep him there as an individual. Even this group is going to appoint for whatever, make sure we are up to the task to to ensure it's the right people, but physically let him stay there until we have an alternative. Because if there's a gap, of course, definitely that the military is going to take over, and we don't want that either. So I think something we need to think about as we look for change and ask and protest and all that stuff. We need to start thinking. We need some people to start thinking this: what if, how can, when, so that we are prepared when even he decides to resign. If he does that, are we prepared now? We are not. They're not. And so if Rigathi takes over, even Martha Koome or whoever is going to take over, within the lineup that we see, none of them is going to be anything positive for this movement. So so we need to start thinking about that.
Yeah, I think when Martha Koome takes over, see, this is the challenge. If Ruto is to dissolve the parliament, that means everyone in the legislative body, kila mtu anaenda rudi nyumbani, including his government with Gachagua and everyone else. Then, okay, if Koome takes over, that means Koome will be the interim leader of the state. So he holds it for like 3 months or whatever the case is, while we are making plans for the next fresh elections. That's I think what the gist of Miguna's argument there. Now, the problem is tukiwacha Ruto physically to remain. As you know, I think tomorrow, which is 18th, the finance bill will be law. Will officially be the law. Ile finance bill ambao we rejected. So my point is, Ruto will still play hizi mchezo za paka na panya. Anatuambia, yeah, I'm doing this while he's doing that. Kama vile tunasema, we need to stop overspending, giving Musalia Mudavadi's wife money, but appropriation bill already has been passed. He's been given a blank check to spend whatever he wanted to spend. So you see, atakuwa anacheza hizi mchezo za paka na panya na sisi, as long as he's in power. So I think it can be done. We can remove Ruto, but like you say, the challenge is how we can have that transition from, in fact, number one is to get Ruto out, and number two is to have that transition government, whether it's Koome or if people decide we are going to choose our own transition team to usher in the elections so we can have fresh elections and bring a new. That's the challenge. Bernard?
Well, you have a point there, and also the speaker who just spoke has a very, very strong point about even the scenario of even leaving Ruto as a shell there until 2027. And this is why she has a very strong point. If you look at June 25th, is the other day, that's when the Gen Zs broke into parliament. I think we are at 3 weeks, maybe, not even 4. Mm-hmm. And for the first time, Ruto has not left the country, which means there's a massive victory for the Gen Z movement. That they have struck Ruto, and they have managed to bring him down, at least to the ground. He's not out yet, but he's on the ground. He cannot dare risk. He cannot dare. Yeah, he can't dare risk leave Kenya right now because of that. So, and the pressure is, to some extent, is working. And good reputation. Someone has a device on.
Saf, you have your device on?
Yeah. So the pressure is actually working, and change is coming. But then, like I said, a revolution is something that nobody can control. It's like a hurricane. We don't know where the eye is going to hit. So no one knows what's going to happen next, even Ruto or even us who are advocating for change. And there are other factors that are at play, and one of them is the U.S. election in November. Trust me, if Donald Trump is declared the president and Ruto is still the president of Kenya, his days will be numbered, because the only people holding him on that seat right now are the Americans. I think even the British are not that strong on him anymore, because they put him in there and they're protecting him. And these are the handlers of Joe Biden, the Akina Bill Gates and all these Clinton Foundation, those kind of people. They're the ones who are actually sustaining him in that position. So there are all these other factors that are coming that are going to hit Ruto even harder. So our challenge right now is to come up with solutions before he actually falls, because I think it's inevitable. This guy is falling. The extremists like Miguna say it could happen in 6 days. That would really surprise me if it happens in 6 days. But then there are people like me who think it's going to happen in about 5 months. So, and the truth is somewhere in between. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. Saf, before I bring in Captain Saf, I didn't hear your take on our friends in Azimio are telling us that, hey, we are not going to meet Ruto. We are not going in bed with Ruto. We are calling for a national conversation about the affairs of the country. It's going to be a national therapy session. Come in, come all, and speak your mind. Toa yote, wakifua. What do you think?
Tukishatoa
Sijui.
yeah, ideally, I don't anything to Azimio is giving us or telling us at this time. Also, at this point, also, I don't want to listen to, because ideally, like Raila has been shaking hands for years right now. He's shaken, I think, all the presidents apart from Kenyatta himself. He's shaken hands with all of them, and what has happened after that handshake? Nothing. So, the idea of dialogue or conversation, ideally, to me, it makes no sense, because you're talking about the bill becoming law tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, that will tell us whether those things were removed or not. We talked about the appropriation, which has already been done. So if they still do it kifua, because the parliament did their part already, it's just coming into law. The parliament, and they did not rescind, as in they did not undo what they did. We've been in limbo since we say that it was because he told us with his word of mouth that he's removed it. It's been limbo, and I've always been wondering, where is this bill? It's hanging somewhere. It's hanging somewhere. Now that hanging, the guy can just pick it and implement it, because he has the appropriation bill. He signed it. He has this one which the parliament went through. He can just sign it on his own, and that is it. Kifua. So at the end of the day, there's no talking, because you don't need to talk to do what you're supposed to do, or what has been. I think Gen Zs have been very clear on their demand. 1, 2, 3, 4. They have been very clear. You don't have to discuss, because they should not even call it a discussion, or they should call it what it is, a negotiation. They want to negotiate, remove this, add this. That's what they should call it, a negotiation. But we're not negotiating at this point. So what my worry is, what you said, tomorrow, the bill comes into effect tomorrow. What happens after that? And I'm agreed with Ben again. And this alludes to what I was saying. We need people to start thinking this thing through. Me, you, Ben, Kip, whoever is here, we have questions. We have maybe suggestions, but we are not the legal minds around this thing. Last time we were talking about a multi-pronged approach. So as some people are in the street, some people should be in a boardroom somewhere, or somewhere already thinking this thing through, so that we are not caught pants down. Because believe you me, if this thing dies down, or we fail at this point, there's never going to be any other time to do anything. Remember when Moi, after the coup, he was vulnerable. After the coup, no one could do anything to him. It's the same thing with Ruto now. If he succeeds now in pushing us away, or whatever, in doing what he wants to do, then there'll be no other time. He might be even another Moi to extend his period now to, he's a younger guy, so he can extend to wherever he's extending. I don't know. And we're in problems. This man is ruthless, so we don't know what he can do to us after this. He's so ruthless.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
we need those people to start thinking somewhere. Start thinking. And if Martha Koome, if Faith Odhiambo was Martha Koome right now, then I would say yes. If Faith was the one sitting as CJ right now, then I would say yes. But I also don't want Martha Koome to take that seat at any point. We need to start thinking and strategizing what to do.
All right. Let me bring in Kip. Kip, Oscar Odongo anauliza, just out of curiosity, what happens if Ruto were to leave Kenya today for even one day, Ruto akitoka hata kiende hapa London tu kidogo, nini itafanyika? Karibu Kip.
Kwani ni aje Kenya Ribe?
Niambie. Chamge.
Poa sana. Habari ya masiku?
Niko. Mimi niko hapa na kunywa Murski. Niambie bwana, urais wako bwana, anatuua.
Wewe nilikwambia anga ile siku nini wewe ndio ulipiga sisi kelele hapa UDA. Sasa hii ni wangu. Habari ya Bernard, habari ya SAF 2024 na Melchizedek Odhiambo. Iko hivi.
Tuko poa Kip.
Iko hivi nani
Tuko sawa.
Kenya, very good. Iko hivi Kenya Rebel. If William Ruto goes outside today, he's been going out anyway, we know that. The constitution is very clear that he is supposed to go out with the deputy president, so that any other thing that is in your mind can happen. But when he's outside the country, whoever will take over, you know, he's the second in command. And because of the happenings that are happening now, I don't know who is behind it. But if in case he can go outside today and something else happen, so be it. Because the money now is not in our pockets as per the campaign manifesto. The money is in the pockets of Akina Sudi, Akina Murkomen, Akina all whatever. Each and every time new club, new chopper, new beer. Until hata kumbe nilikuja kuona kuna pombe ni kama mshahara ya mtu. Pombe chupa moja ni mshahara ya mtu ya mwezi mzima. Unaamuka asubuhi mapema, unaenda na mtu anaenda anakunywa hiyo na wanawa ama hata less than nao. Where is this money coming from?
Wacha nikuulize Kip. Unataka wewe unaona kuna watu wanasema tumpatie muda akae mpaka 27 maybe ataleta change. Sina amefukuza cabinet, amefukuza wakina Murkomen. Should we give him time ama tumtoe saa hizi?
Zini mbali bana. 27 nafikiri ni kuamka kulala saa na kuamka kesho. Ni mbali.
Sasa.
Si tutaumia zaidi.
Na amekataa kutoka.
Unajua other news ya kumtoa pia naye imekuwa ngumu. Sisi tunakuja hapa online tunapayuka. But the happening of removing this guy through the constitution are safeguarded sana. Naona. So the only way was the first maandamano that shake the whole world is what to happen in State House. Otherwise, if you think of TCGO tumtoe na katiba na nini ni ngumu. Hatutaweza.
Okay. Wacha nisalimie Melchizedek. Melchizedek Odhiambo, I haven't seen you for a while. Karibu sana. Namna gani?
Asante sana. Nimeshukuru. Niko poa sana.
Maoni yako ya leo ODM wamesema tukutane tuongee shida ya dunia.
First of all, nataka kusema ya kwamba this issue of dialogue tutupe mbali sana kwa sababu hii kitu ndio inatuwestia time. Because they have done now, this is the fourth one, if I'm not wrong, maybe the fifth one, but nothing comes out. They are just there to eat, relax, and say nonsense, which is something that everyone is seeing. And these people, they also need something in the government because you cannot say that you want dialogue once people are suffering. Because right now, as you can see, everything is scattered and everything is not going well, and they are still talking. This issue of talking, it's bringing us back every now and then. When the Gen Z started this movement, I went there one day and I told them one thing: that once you want to do something, if you want to kushika mwizi, huwezi mwambia mwizi tunakuja. Hiyo haiwezekani. Hata siku moja mwizi atakuwa na bunduki na nini ya kungoje ukuje hapo akuue. And this is what Ruto is doing. I told them, once you are decided to do something, just come up with a very good and brilliant idea that will make them to shake the world, which they did first time, but that the second time they failed. because they come every now and then, they talk about it every now and then these people are already prepared for this. So what will make the change is there another plant which these people will not know, and they stop leaking everything. Oh, today we are going to State House. Not need. There is no need for them to go to State House or to end wapi wapi. I told them once they want to do this, they should block everywhere. That the way that going to State House and everything, no one will go there. That's the first thing they should do. But the second thing that they should do, they should keep their secret. Because once
how are they going to
here,
keep their secret? Kwa sababu wako wengi na they only use mtandao ndio wakutane.
yeah, once they tumekutana pale, hata mimi niko hapo, but people wanaropoka tu mara nini. We have to be something that is strategized, very nice, and we make sure that when we are giving the information, we should give the information. Even we can jump the day that we are supposed to go for maandamano. When the people are ready for it, then we know that tomorrow watu wamekuwa ready now, next day tunabomoa. Unaona? But they said that they are doing it. Last not least, the only thing that I want to say that let us not talk too much. It reach a point whereby we have to stand and say the one word. That one will be something that is showing at least we are moving on. Let us forget about all this maneno ya sijui inaitwa aje dialogue. Hao watu pia wanataka sana. Baba alisema ya kwamba wanataka kila mtu vomit kila kitu. There is nothing like that. Hakuna. We are vomiting nothing. They are there to eat. They have their own. They feel nice because their family already have everything that they want. What about your family? They're suffering somewhere. What about my family? They don't have anything. Think about those who doesn't even have shelter. Those are the things that we should think. But when a politician stand anasema ya kwamba we want dialogue, that dialogue that they are talking about, let them talk to their family, but not for us. We want change, and the change that we want is Ruto atoke, tukingoja mpaka 2027 mtaanguka nayo. Sahii kuna nyuna imetoka anguka nayo, itaanguka nayo. Asanteni.
Asante. Wakenya wamekuwa wakali kweli kweli. Mmesema
you know what can Aribele ni njaa bana, ni njaa. Njaa mingi. Kiangalia mfuko ile kitu ilikuwa inaingia mahali na ile saa hii inatoka. Yani the source of entry is so high than the income itself. The source of exit yani. Our exit is widely open. But the entry imekuwa narrow sana, hakuna kitu inaingia. But for them, you cannot tell them ati leo nimelala njaa ama I just had 1 meal in a day. Even 1 meal is in a day, hiyo utakuwa umejaribu sana. There are some people who are going even 2 days ndio wapate chakula.
So wacha niulize Safi swali na alafu nikuje Bernard, alafu tutakuja kwako Kip. Nauliza hivi. Sasa Ruto akifanya hizo vitu mnasema mtamwacha aendelee mpaka 2027 ama imefika pale nyinyi mmechoka, hata afanye nini mnamtoa? Safi.
Hata afanye nini tutamtoa. Tunamtoa because this 1.5 2 years we've been with this man. Unajua it's very easy to soma him. Now we know him as much as we were warned before, but now we actually experience. This man is a pathological liar. So he'll remove, he has to bend to the demands, yes, but what how sure would we be if we now relent and leave him there that he will not go back on what he has done? I talked about the bill being in limbo. Tomorrow will tell us whether it was actually in limbo or not. We have no idea. So even this cabinet being shuffled or being removed as they were removed, maybe physical, I don't know how true that is. at the end of the day, maybe if someone was to go into the finances of the end of the month, then you see if they were paid salary or not. Then we'll know whether they're still there. This other thing about he's saying he's removing he's not going to finance those ladies' offices and Suji cars will not be done. You know, we don't know. This person in Wamdomo. Actions are tuoni. The actions we see are those things of beating people in the streets to the police. But actions of actually doing what has been demanded of him, we don't know. We can't see the evidence until we see it. Now, for at least the bill will sit tomorrow, the evidence whether it was done or not. But I don't trust this man for any reason going forward. So yes, the demands needs to be done because the river has to be drained, as they say. Things have to be cleaned, so they have to be done. But they're being done for the next person to come to a clean river and start on a clean slate. But one thing we need to start thinking about, and I want Kip, I want Ben, I want even Odhiambo thing, we need to start thinking about going forward. As Odhiambo is saying, or rather is it keep saying we keep ropokering, we're just talking. Then what? We are talking and then what? Tomorrow we find the bill is the same thing. What will happen? The next tomorrow we find those PSs have not gone anywhere. They were just given a holiday for 1 week, 2 weeks. Then what? We find that they're still funding Mudavadi's office. Then what? Let's stop thinking about 2027. It will deal with it. Let's deal it with what we have right now. What we have right now is we're not sure whether any of these things will be done. What they went fished a report called NADCO, whatever that report is called. They're being told do this, but they go and fish their own things, which ideally we were told by Kalonzo that it was not good. So I don't understand how they went to sign it again. The same document. So there's a lot of play. Anacheza na akili za watu. So at the end of the day, it's not someone who's going to stay. And we need to start thinking about how we are going to get him out in that 27 or even tomorrow or whichever day we are getting him out. That's what we need to do.
Bernard.
And I'm begging that we start people that conversation we start moving in that direction.
Good. Bernard, if now we need nani vile ametuambia vizuri, we need to think about what's next, what we need to do. You umetuambia hapa we need people who have integrity, ukatuambia example of Kipruto Kirwa. If Ruto has maybe let's say acquire na what do we call it? Acquire a moment of
he's called Kitun.
Kitun?
Which one are you talking about? Joshua Kutuny?
No, nasema Bernard aliniambia Kipruto Kirwa. Ama?
Kipruto Arap Kirwa.
Yeah.
Kipruto Arap Kirwa, who resigned from UDA, he was what? He was chairman or what?
He was Kibaki's he was Kibaki's agriculture minister.
Yes, I remember the other day in politics of the last campaign, he was in
yes,
UDA,
yes.
And immediately
he resigned because of he had questions about integrity of UDA people.
Yeah, he was the minister from Cherangani, that is.
Yes.
So he's a stand-up guy. He's a really nice. He's somebody who can be trusted.
Yeah, I like the way he talks. He's an older person. He is level-headed, and he seems to put the country, first. That's what I tend to get from him.
So let's say he brings Kipruto Kirwa and a bunch of people who really do the work. Are you willing to work with Ruto and say, sawa, mimi nitampatia mpaka 2027 basi aendelee na hii kazi, naona amegeuka kidogo, he has a Damascus moment, he's doing well now, utamwacha aendelee mpaka 2027 ama utasema hata kama ukileta maendeleo hapa staki?
Well, there's some things I'm sure about right now. I am sure about one thing, that we are in a revolution. And I'm also sure that this revolution will get rid of Ruto. When and how, I don't know exactly. Number two, Ruto is self-destructing, and Ruto will self-destruct. He has that problem. He is completely incompetent. And if you saw when he was vice president under Uhuru, he was always in his vehicle, on top of his vehicle, all over the country. And this past weekend, I think he was in Nakuru. when he was blaming the Ford Foundation, he was doing it on top of an SUV. Now, here's a problem. You are the president of the Republic of Kenya. You have a lot of work to do. You have an office. Where do you get the time to go on top of a vehicle and address people? You're addressing them as who and as for what? You have a job to do. There's no, you're still campaigning and campaigning and campaigning, and you're the president. This guy campaigns nonstop. So he's going to self-destruct. Ruto cannot do the job that he took. I don't think even he understands the job that he took. And, personally, in my own personal life, I have a small position somewhere, and, it's managerial. I supervise a few people, and I have to sit down in an office and think through things so that when my employees come, I give them direction. So I'm assuming that Ruto's job is 100,000 times more complex than mine. So he's supposed to be in Harambee House maybe 16 hours a day, being briefed and discussing things with people, which he seems not to be able to do. Now, he was telling people in Nakuru that Ford Foundation did XYZ. So what do you want the people to do about that? And then he says in the same speech, I will call them out. You're the president. You can ask the police to go kick them out and from march them to JKIA and deport them. You have the powers. So this guy, Ruto, cannot complete his term. He's just too incompetent. He doesn't know what he's doing. And I keep saying, I personally believe that Gachagua might take him out. That's a possibility. Gachagua might see, and this is a theory put forward by Mutahi Ngunyi just before the elections in 2022, that Gachagua is the kind of person who could see an opportunity. Ruto is weak, confused, and lost, and and the next thing, we could hear that he's the one who's going to become president. So he's not going to make it, and I don't think any of us should be contemplating of Ruto to go into 2027. If he makes 2027, to me, it's a miracle. And if we have to go by what Miguna Miguna is saying, this thing could last 6 days. And I spoke with my family a few hours ago, and they're telling me that economically things are extremely bad on the ground. People are frustrated, and people are feeling a lot of pain. So the idea of a 1 million man march to State House could become a reality in a split of a second. That's my submission.
Kip.
Yes, sir.
Naona Ruto, sijui kama ni yeye alipotolea na order, lakini kijana wa Gachagua alishikwa, amenyakwa, bado hajapatikana. Alishikwa na polisi, sijui alikuwa abducted ama nini. Hii mambo gani inaendelea? Ni rais ameoda hiyo ama ni mambo gani?
Hiyo ni hadithi za kaka Sungura na Hekaya za Abunwasi.
Yeah.
Wanatudanganya hawa. Ndio wasifanye kazi, waanze kufuatilia kijana yao huko, na sisi tunaumia huko. Hakuna kitu kama hiyo. Those are liars.
Ni mchezo.
Sisi hiyo mchezo ya paka na panya na hii ukora ya Miguna Miguna. Anajifanya to be crying more than the bereaved. Nothing like that. Waja mtu mwingine aendelee nishike hizi mdogo.
Wacha nicheze hii mambo ya Miguna tusikie nini. Nani Melchizedek. What do you make? Yes. Do you agree with this submission? Nani huyu Gachagua anaweza kuchukua hii serikali ama yende amepanga hii maandamano?
Maneno ya Gachagua hata ukileta hapa ni kama unaleta mambo zingine haziko. Sasa yule sasa ukimwambia akuwe president, si Kenya imeisha?
Kweli mmechoka na hii serikali.
Mimi nikuwe president at least.
Shares.
You know what? Let me tell you something. Nyani ni nyani. Wale walisema nyani ni nyani. Mtasema ati sasa Ruto afanye kila kitu ambayo inatakikana, alafu tumuache mpaka 2027. Unajua mtu akijaribu kitu kama hiyo ni kama anajioza yeye mwenyewe. Juu huyu jamaa amekuwa the liar, sijui shule, kuna shule ya laya huko, shule unakuwa na degree. I don't know which school Ruto alienda, anasema uongo. Na maneno ya hii financial bill ambayo alikuwa unasema inasemekana after 21 days inakuanga law, which everybody knows, and nobody knows where this financial bill is, and people are still waiting for that 21 days to reach. Then itafanya nini? Itakuwa law. Hakuna kitu mtafanya kwa sababu is in the constitution. So once hii kitu imefika penye imefika sahi, sisi wote, ukiwa mkubwa mdogo, Gen Z, X, sijui Z, whatever, you have to think what next. That's the only way we will help Kenya. But if we think that, let us wait for Gen Z to do for us this, nothing is going to happen. When people comes together and say no, and that's the stand. Because if you understand how you are suffering now, you yourself, where are you stating? Wanaweza hata kukatia net sahi na utafanya kitu. Tutakaa hapa tukingoja nani Kenya Rebel arudi na hakuna, si ndio? So change start with you. And once you have said that I want to change, everything will change. But if you wait for someone to change you, you will never change.
Okay.
And this is what the lady is saying here, that let us see, or let us sit down and look the way forward. Let us not think about this Gachagua, whatever. You yourself, what can you bring to the table so that people can discuss to help Kenyans?
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Mtu ananiambia ati kuna watu wanasalimiwa, watu wazimio wameanza kusalimiwa hapa.
Of course.
I'm telling you, Wakenya wamekasirika. I'm telling you. Yeah?
That was inevitable. I mean, really, you know, vile Odhiambo amesema, the apes are the same apes. Monkeys are monkeys. They'll still have the red asses and blue asses. They are monkeys. And hata wakiweka diaper, they are still the same monkeys. So at the end of the day, who's that on the screen? Oh, it is Miguna.
Yeah, I was about to play that, but I was waiting for your submission.
Hakuna shida. So as Odhiambo said, the monkeys are the same monkeys. No, let me finish. So the monkeys are still the same monkeys. The same monkeys. My question now would be the legal minds, what we're discussing about now tomorrow and discussing about taking over, but where is Omtata on this? Why isn't he giving us his legal mind on what is happening here? Why are we hearing only from Miguna from Canada, or I don't know which part of the world he's in? Why are we not hearing from Faith, LSK chair, on these matters? So as we're going on the streets, imagine now something happens and all these people who have been dying in the streets will go for nothing because we're not strategizing.
So for the record,
as much as maybe we don't like Miguna is loud and all that stuff, but could be saying some things of sense. Can we?
Omtata is very busy, so he's been he's currently I think he's pursuing multiple lawsuits against the government, especially on violence, or on that very question you're raising. He's fighting for the people who have been killed.
Yeah, the ICT.
And you know he has a job too.
Yes.
Yeah. So Omtata is extremely busy fighting for Kenyans, and he said actually something the other day which struck me. He said there's a time Ruto was, I think, in Kisii when he said, mnadhani nilipewa ile sword nikatakate mboga, which Omtata is saying is something that Ruto threatened Kenyans, and that's the background of the violence we are seeing, and he's linking it to that statement. So Omtata, to defend him, he's incredibly busy and doing a lot at the moment. And this other lady you're saying from LSK, she's also I've listened to her. She's on multiple YouTube channels every day with a viewership in the thousands, live, discussing, engaging Kenyans on and Gen Zs
on X-Space.
On X-Space, on 1,000,001 issues. So those guys are they're doing I think they're sleeping 4 hours a day, so they're extremely busy. And you're right. Let's there's something that we should be doing about tomorrow. We should do more. We should not be relying on Gen Zs. I personally don't. I'm not relying on Gen Zs on my part. I don't live in Kenya, but from where I live, number one, I'll make sure, and I can say this openly because I don't care. I'm voting for Donald Trump because I think Joe Biden rigged Ruto in. So that's my first contribution.
Oh, definitely.
And
Yes, we need, yeah.
number two, I am talking to the Trump campaign, and I'm giving them all the information that I can about what the administration, what I think the current administration has been doing on foreign policy, and what needs to be done, including recalling Meg Whitman, the American ambassador to Kenya, who I think is doing the wrong things in Nairobi. So
instead of becoming
so you're right. All of us should be involved in some kind of activism of some sort. And I've been pushing Kenya Rebel to give me his number so I can know who he is, because I don't know who he is. I know he lives in Atlanta. I would like us to form a WhatsApp group so that I can see who's who, and we can talk anytime instead of waiting for you to come on board, because there's a lot we can do, And I keep reminding Kenyans, if Ruto's government collapses today and fresh elections are called, we're going to go back to the infrastructure that exists, the very infrastructure that has brought us to this mess we are in right now. The briefcase parties and the tribal groupings. That's what we have to go back to pull ourselves out of the mess. So, that's why I keep bringing up the issue of, I don't like the guy, Gachagua. I don't like the guy. But
don't trust
that's the mechanism we have. That's if Ruto was to say resign, say I'm fed up, I can't deal with this, it's Gachagua who takes over. Or if both resign and they dissolve parliament, it is Martha Koome who takes over, another person that I don't really like. So I still think that we should form a WhatsApp group. Of course, you have to vet who's in that group, because you're giving out some private information, which is your phone number. Someone can track your location, and we can start getting people on the ground
thinking.
And I know in Kenya, yes, and one place to find people on the ground is UDA. Let me speak for Central Province, because that's what I understand best. UDA rigged people out of positions in Central so they could win. So you have a lot of disgruntled good people on the ground who are, those are the easiest, those are low-hanging fruits. Those are folks we can reach out to for guidance. And I'm sure there are some political parties that are sprouting everywhere, because right now, even why actually you see ODM and Azimio having this press conference is because power hates a vacuum. And with William Ruto dissolving the cabinet, now there's a vacuum in Kenya. So that's why you're seeing all this joking going around, people having press conferences, all this dialogue, or let's talk, or let's negotiate. They can see the vacuum. Power hates a vacuum. Power hates a vacuum. So they're trying to occupy that vacuum. People are sensing power. And Ruto knows that. And I won't be surprised if there are helicopters at night in Kenya dropping off bags of money into ODM MP's house. So they come, the next day you see them saying, oh, no, we need to negotiate.
Right.
I wish they could pass, drop here. Some of it flies this way.
And Gachagua had been pushed to a corner. And when Raila Odinga backed off from Ruto because of public pressure, Ruto pulled Gachagua in, and Gachagua, like an idiot, went to Central, telling them Atakamaru ni mbaya, tulimchagua. Which means Ruto called him at night and said, how much money do you want? 5 billion? Okay, here. Here is the money. The helicopter will be near your door tomorrow morning. And then he rushed to the mic saying, let's support this guy. So that's what's going on in Kenya right now. The vacuum has been created, and it's been occupied by people. People are going for the money. They don't care about our country. They don't care about change. But unfortunately, the revolution is on its way, and if we get organized, I don't know how this thing is going to end up, but you never know in a revolution. That small little push that you give could, make this thing tip over and bring much needed change.
All right, let's listen to Miguna for a minute. Before we wrap this up, I didn't listen to.
Good morning, patriots. Today, I'm going to speak to you as the general of the National Revolutionary Movement and the general of all the revolutionary forces. And as a tactical and strategic master, listen carefully. William Ruto is cornered. His back is against the wall. So he's going to act desperately. He's going to act desperately because he wants to cling to power. Now, we have to come up with strategies to defeat William Ruto in the most efficient, effective, and shortest possible time. So what do we need to do? Number one, when attacked at home for no reason and attempts are made to abduct you, make noise and resist. Let members of the neighborhood come to your aid and repulse the goons. Abductions are illegal under the Constitution. Arrests, normal arrests in the regular manner, are legal, but only if they have a basis. You have a right to resist. You have a right to self-defense. So that's number one. Don't run away. Don't cower. Don't put your tail between your legs and simply go like a cow ready for slaughter. Number two, we need to spread William Ruto's goons thin throughout the country, which means that regardless of where you are, from north to south, east to west, you should rise up and protest everywhere, occupy everywhere. William Ruto has a maximum of 325,000 armed men and women. Not enough for 54 million Kenyans. Not enough to suppress a whole country. Spread them thin everywhere. Number two, we need to gather in huge numbers in major cities, starting with Nairobi. This gathering should be in one central place, like they did in Tahrir Square in Tunisia. And you need to make it one huge cavalcade with lots of people, 1 million plus. When you do that, and you do that consistently, and you do not disperse, and you stay there day after day, within 6 days, William Ruto will be no more. His forces will be gone. The international community will abandon him. The press that he is currently also brutalizing. For instance, I express my heartfelt condolences and also sympathies to those that William Ruto brutalized today and the journalists that he shot in Nakuru today. The media must rise up against William Ruto because he turned his guns against the media as much as he turned his guns against the civilians. The international community eventually, regardless of their location, will rise up against him because they don't want to be in the bad books of Kenyans. Number 5, I call upon the legal profession because I'm a lawyer, I'm an advocate of the High Court of Kenya, and I practice law as a barrister and solicitor in Canada. The lawyers who are patriotic must rise up against William Ruto. Turn up in large numbers in your gowns and march draped in Kenyan flags. Let the world see that William Ruto is going to treat the Kenyan flag as contraband, as a criminal garment. Let us expose William Ruto's autocratic, tyrannical DNA to the entire world. Let us expose William Ruto to the media, the international media, including the Githeri media in Kenya. Let us make sure that we expose William Ruto, we resist him, and we protest against him gallantly. Within 6 days of consistent daily protests, William Ruto will fall. The problem that I've seen with the current protests is that they're like flash floods. We do them one day, and then we allow him time to go and recuperate and rearm and stock his ammunition and hire more goons. We should not give him respite. We should not give him a breathing space. William Ruto has crossed the Rubicon. He has crossed the red line. He's reached a point of no return. He must fall, and he must fall now. Let us forget about our sectarian and parochial differences. Patriots must unite. And we cannot say that when William Ruto falls, there will be a vacuum. There will be no vacuum. Let nobody say that if William Ruto falls, that Gachagua is going to take power. William Ruto will fall with Gachagua, with Raila Odinga, and with all his collaborators. And when that happens, we will demand that the Chief Justice steps in and chairs the Transitional Council that will shepherd Kenya into a new republic, where we will have fresh elections with a reconstituted IBC, and we will overhaul the entire system that was set up by the colonialists and revolutionize and transform our systems of government, our economic systems, our social systems, our cultural mores. Kenya is ripe for a rebirth, and we must do this for the country. Don't ask me where I am. Don't ask me where I'm speaking from. That's sectarian parochialism, because the only people asking that question are people who want to abduct me, people who want to come and torture me and kill me. I've gone through many of those, starting from Moi's time up to now. Let no old men and women lie to you and sell fear to you that now is the time to give him time. We don't want reforms. This is a revolution. We want a total, complete overhaul of the rotten colonial structures so that we can build fresh, people-friendly, and empowering structures for national rejuvenation. Viva! Power to the people.
Yeah. Umesikia hiyo oh crap, hold on. Sorry guys. All right, Mesikia Miguna hiyo. By the way, before I bring in Captain, I think you'll be next. There's also jamaa anaitwa nani? This is the incident that happened today, I think, with Kalonzo Musyoka. Apparently there was kulikuwa na vita hapo vile Kalonzo alifukuzwa vile alikuwa anaongea. I don't know what's going on with ODM too. But here is the video real quick before we go to Captain, then we'll hear from Odhiambo. What's going on? All right. So apparently they were fighting the media people. But anyway, Captain, Miguna amesema ndio hiyo. Mlikuwa mnataka kusikia the way forward, ndio hiyo mmepewa. Mmeambiwa watu wa law watoke nje, kila mtu atoke nje, all that. Maoni yako?
Kenya Rebel, nasikia umeniita, unasemaje? Nilikuwa low kidogo.
Wewe ulikuwa kwa simu?
Nilikuwa kwa simu hata.
Nilikuwa nasema
wewe uliza tu.
Nilikuwa nauliza, si umesikia vile Miguna amesema ati mjitokeze, Ruto ako karibu kutolewa siku 6 ataondolewa. Hiyo ni historia ya kaka Sankura ama?
Miguna Miguna mwenyewe has been in exile for all those years. This same government is the same government that brought Miguna, or gave Miguna freedom to come back to his country where he was born. Do you think Miguna is serious on what he's telling us? Because mwenye alimuleta ndio unafikiri atampiga ama anakuja hapa kuspy? Huyu ni kama Moses Kuria anasema nimefutwa kazi lakini mwenye namhurumia ni Kithure Kindiki. Au anaumia Kithure Kindiki au unaomeenda naye? So some people here, we need to be cautious, as maybe I heard Mr. Nani Bernard saying, we need to be very cautious on what we are saying, and we need not to spill the beans everywhere. Because it's like now online, see you safe when we are planning these things. Are you seeing?
Yeah.
As he said, we create WhatsApp groups or all whatever. Still, those WhatsApp groups, the intruders will come in, like the government informers and all whatever, and they'll sell our people.
Yeah.
And they'll use even mobile phones to track those people that they know they are anti-government.
Kweli kabisa.
Naona Kenya River.
Hata mimi najichunga pale naenda na bebanga kitu moto.
Naona kwanza ulikataa kwenda kinyozi. Sasa hivi unaonekana ni kama huyu mtu alinyoa ama namna gani? You understand? So we need to be very careful, and those our people are being killed, wanaua watoto hivyo, wanaenda kurushwa kwa sewage. Those are the things that we don't want. Eri mtoto apelekwe aende afungwe kamiti, kama ni miaka yake hiyo, kama ni 2 ama 5 ama ngapi, afungwe, lakini awe na maisha yake. Hiyo slaughtering of our children like that sio mzuri. We don't allow that.
Okay. I'll wrap this up. Nitapatia Melchizedek nafasi yake. I'll give your last submission, then Saf, alafu Captain ukitaka kumalizia pia saa Odhiambo. Melchizedek, endelea, your closing remark.
Yes. Nataka kuongelea maneno ya Miguna. It's my tribe, and we do say that in the Luo people, they like bragging so much with too much Kisungu without no thing. It's the same like Miguna's culture. So regarding Miguna, let him talk, because we have freedom of talking. And once he says something, he's doing something different. We know him from the beginning. So it's not something that is not somebody who can help. Is someone who is always bragging, talking like someone who is for the world, and is doing nothing. If he knows what he's doing, he can help Kenya, because he's anafanya laws. He knows what law says, and he's coming in the media talking bullshit here, saying that people are talking na watu wanauliwa. Hiyo ni kama ni kumwambia mtu enda uoge, alafu kisha oga weka maji hapo, maji baridi. Uoga na maji moto, alafu unamwambia mtu weka tu maji baridi hapo nitakuja kuoga. Unaona? So the only thing that will help us, that I told you and I will repeat it, sometimes we need to take action more than speaking. Because once we take the action, things will run smoothly. Then we need to advise our people, because I'm in that category whereby I can be in Gen Z, I can be in millennium, or I am not in X. So I'm in between there. So you people, you have to tell us, this is how we do it, and let us do it in a polite way, but not in that much harsh that you killing, you are doing this and this and this. This one will not help us also. So when we are going for Mandamano, we know we need the advice from the elderly. But if this elderly, they cannot advise us, then we take it the way it comes, and we do it the way we want, because we have gone to school, we know all the tricks of doing all these things that is taking place. So maneno ya Miguna Wachana nayo baba. Hiyo Miguna. Wacha kae huku Canada, aenjoy maisha yake. Sisi tunaumia ako na pesa yake yeye hawacha aenjoy. Sisi tunataka nchi yetu ikuwe nchi ambayo haina shida, nchi ambayo inaleta employment na nchi ambayo inasaidia wale ambao ni wanyonge, wale wako chini. I did electrical engineering. I cannot get a job in Kenya. I'm suffering in another country where is not something good. If these people are really knows that these people can help, the knowledge I have, I can bring to Kenya. I can give other people. I can help out my country, but you also maybe you have something which is you also know. You can help your children and the other people, but you can't. See where you are talking in because of the problem that we are facing in our country. So we need to be serious. We need to know that this is the thing that even if they say that we are supporting our people to go for Mandamano, let us support them so that we can get what we need.
Okay, very good, very good. Saf, your closing remark. Hello, Saf.
Okay, all right, thank you. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes,
Can you hear me?
yes, we can hear you clearly.
So I have some what we call rebut for both Kip and Odhiambo, and even for Bernard. So there's something I said earlier on, even I think before Odhiambo joined us. When dealing with these matters or any social matters, do not look at the individual. What I'm going to say is, my colleagues, Kip and Odhiambo, you're looking at the individual. Let's not look at an individual. There's someone even in the chat who has talked about Miguna is right or something like that. Let's not look at individuals, but listen to what someone is saying. Is there any substance to what someone is saying? Earlier on, I asked the question, what next? And that is why you played that clip, Rebel, because he's giving us very practical what next is. What next? He's giving us very practical things. Keep, I'm yet to hear exactly one practical thing that will tell us that we'll move forward, or in also the Ambo, what a practical thing that will make us look forward, because that is where we're taking this conversation next. What next? What are we going to do next? And he's given us very practical things. So for me, I'm not looking at him as his name individual, but what he's saying. If you can look at what he's saying and see how practical they are and how we can implement them, well and good, because they're very good things he's telling us. I agree with the thing of pressure. And even last time we said kufinya, which is pressure. The problem with Mandamano on Tuesday, you go to the street, they close the shops. Wednesday, we take the children back to school. Thursday, again. I agree with him at that point. It has to be sustained pressure. Sustained pressure, because if you break that word, he's saying it very, we are giving him time to re-strategize and then reload his guns or whatever it is, or talk to so and so. But if it's a daily thing for a period, pressure, he will fall, and anyone will fall, not just Ruto. Anyone would fall from pressure. But when we break it in between, then the pressure is reduced. What the break can be not at the days, but in maybe the strategy, or then the deep group of people who are going on Tuesday is a different group from the people who are going on Wednesday, different from the group going on Monday, etc. So at every day there's a pressure on him. Within the pressure of this breaking, what he has said he has done so far, he's saying he's done something. So imagine if it is sustained for some days, how much more can we do? So me, I'm looking at it in terms of, I'm not looking at Miguna as who he is or where he is or what happened to him or who he loves or what tribe he is, but what substance is he bringing on the table. So I like, in conclusion, I like the Bernard's idea, and I wish he had not dropped out, because that's what we need to explore. Because at the end of the day, we know this man has got powers, and the powers that be, and the system and all that thing, money and everything else are in his pocket. So equally, the revolution also needs to be supported from somewhere else. Otherwise, we will not manage. So we'll be fighting a battle where we'll be dying, most of us, rather than than making an impact, because he has all the organs in this country. So we need something from outside. That's why I'm loving Bernard's idea, and I wish we can next week or whatever, we can actually now talk about that in terms of way forward, how we can plug in with other people who are friendly to our cause, so that we can move forward. Otherwise, we'll continue talking in these chats. And what I love about the chats is that they're everywhere in the country right now. Every county has them. That is also pressure. That is also pressure. So we should encourage those kind of arms also. Every county having them. Some, as I said earlier on, people going to the streets, continue going to the streets. People on chat X, continue on X. Let Faith and Omtata continue, and let other lawyers join them. Other lawyers should join them. This Kipruto man, I think he's also a lawyer, or he's got some law in his head. Why can't he join that revolution at that point at the levels? Because you talked about the two being very busy. Yes, they can be overwhelmed. So also need other people inside there. For me, where I work, because I work in a parastatal, we start from there. So pressure from everywhere is what is going to bring this thing to a fruition. Otherwise, the more we start contradicting ourselves or looking at personalities, haitatusaidia. Let's look at personalities. Let's look at what they're bringing on the table, and move and pick what is good for us or what can work, and implement. What is not good, we put it aside. That is what my humble submission.
Okay, unaona hata kuna mtu amekusupport anasema, hey, Safa, I support you. Let's not judge Miguna from his past, but we need to see his impact since we started this revolution. Haya, keep. Niambie, funga show. Niambie maoni yako. Your last statement. Ama bado uko kwa simu?
Keep amelala.
Sawa, nitarudi in the evening 5:30, which is 5:30 Eastern time, and midnight 12:30 a.m. ya usiku Kenyan time. So I usually have 2 sessions some days. So nitarudi jioni na tutaongea, and we'll take it from there. Otherwise, everyone from chat, thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Tuongee mambo kama hivi. Safa natuambia we need to really have to tuanze kufocus what can we do next.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes,
so is it a daily conversation?
Yes, I come in here daily. Kila siku.
Okay.
Yeah,
so same time tomorrow then.
Huh?
Same time tomorrow?
Yes, same time tomorrow. So if you're umesubscribe?
Yeah, nimesubscribe.
Yeah, weka notification saa ukiingia tu ina simu inakwambia pap nimeingia. Min daily niko hapa. So okay. Yeah. All right. So everyone else, thank you so much. Keep asante. Bobby Caesar, I see you katika chat. Zach Zakarino, thank you. Jackie Sarange, Sarange ama Sarange, thank you. Everyone, Rene Black alikuwa hapa alishatoka. James Mwangi, thank you so much everyone. Helen of Troy, thank you. Annie alipitia pia, thank you so much everyone for stopping by, commenting and being by. Bob, thank you. Oscar Odongo, everyone. Nani mwingine? Watu wako wengi. George Opio pia alikuwa hapa. Thank you guys. David Omburo, Brother Benson, James Wood kama kawaida, na nyinyi pia Saf kama kawaida atakuwa hapa every day. I'll come in the evening today too. Captain Kip kama kawaida. Bernard mtu wetu pia alitoka. Pia nani Melchizedek, I haven't seen him for a while. We used to zumza in another platform, but I'm so glad to see him. And everyone else that's watching, please subscribe, share, like, comment, and put your notification on so when I come in, simu itakwambia niko ndani. Otherwise, tuonane tena if you're in Kenya saa 6 usiku, saa 6 na nusu usiku. Nitaingia kama bado utakuwa macho sawa, kama umelala pia sawa. Otherwise, tutakutana tena kesho the same time kama leo. So thank you very much, and I'll see you guys later. Peace and blessings.
Cheers.
Cheers. Rebel salute. Haya, baadaye.